Good evening. Stefan was on assignment today, and we begin tonight with an agonizing wait that felt like a lifetime. An Ottawa man is sharing his wife's painful experience after breaking both her legs while the pair waited nearly 3 hours for an ambulance. CTV's Dylan Dyson has more.
Awesome. What about some kicking?
Sandy Kratzbarg is doing physio at the Kentville Hospital, but getting here took longer than she or her husband Sid could have imagined.
We were at a good friend's house, and on our way to go back home, she tripped over boots.
They would later learn that Sandy, who is 75 years old with osteoarthritis, broke her femur in one leg and tibia in the other.
We've been married 49 years, and I've never heard someone screaming in pain like that. She even said it was worse than giving birth.
They called 911, but ended up waiting 2 hours for an ambulance to arrive.
Finally, an ambulance did arrive, and we look out the window, and then it turns around and it went.
Ottawa paramedics say an ambulance responding to assist Sandy was redirected due to a life-threatening call.
She's on the floor screaming. She's in excruciating pain. Well, we'll try and get an ambulance right away. Still was almost another hour for that ambulance.
In a statement, Ottawa paramedics said, in this case, 3 paramedic crews were assigned to the call and 2 were redirected to life-threatening calls before the 3rd paramedic crew arrived at the patient's side. The service says that on that December 21st day, over 50 life-threatening calls came in between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. And as a result, some non-life-threatening calls had to wait longer for care. Paramedics add that events that day were uncommon.
I understand, but it's so hard to justify the wait time. Today's paper, hospitals face difficult decisions on services closures, doctors expose ER deaths.
It's an experience that has left Kratzbarg frustrated with the state of Canada's health care.
I'm reading the paper every day. There are major problems with emergency rooms, primary care, ambulatory services, and I think our government is doing a terrible job.
Dylan Dyson, CTV News.
All right, to take our first check of weather, a look at the National Gallery of Canada there behind me. We've got a live look to our Centennial Glass Skycam as well. Clearer conditions, it's minus 14 degrees, chilly one out there. Let's check in with Jackie Paris with our first check on the forecast. Jackie.
Well, more snow is on the way for our Wednesday, but when exactly will we get this? Well, parts of Kingston will likely start to see this in the early hours, and even parts of the valley probably before noon, but it's really in the afternoon for here in Ottawa that we could see the significant snow moving through. Anticipating early estimates between 3 to 5 centimeters, but Kingston likely to see much more than this. Temperatures, though, we're getting to a daytime high of -7, and this won't be until the later part of the evening. So it's going to be a cooler, windier day for tomorrow, but after Wednesday, temperatures will start to drop even colder. So we'll have those details and more in just a bit. Kimberly.
Thank you, Jackie. He was a man on a most unlikely mission, but Tysen Lefebvre, against all odds, made it happen, leaving behind an incredible legacy of kindness and caring. Tonight, family, friends, and the community gathered to remember Tysen, who passed away on Christmas Day, and whose love of hockey was second only to his love of helping others. CTV Sean Varden was there.
Hundreds gathering at the Canadian Tire Centre Tuesday night to remember Tysen Lefebvre.
Well, he was the center of important things. You know, what matters in life is what you give to others, not what you receive. It's really what you give. And we see all the people who were touched by what he did.
Manon Cossel and her daughter Dominique here to pay their respects. Dominique volunteered with Tysen at the Make-A-Wish Foundation as an ambassador, helping grant wishes to other kids.
Everyone who knows him loved him. We could see it tonight. Like he touched the heart of a lot of people.
He did more in a short lifetime than most of us would do in our lifetime.
Almost 30 speakers taking to the podium from all walks of life, sharing the impact Tysen had.
He was the star each year and will forever be the champion of our hearts.
As a child, he received a wish through Make-A-Wish Canada, meeting actor and comedian Adam Sandler. That sparked his mission to $1 million. He raised $1 million, helping 100 other children receive their wishes.
Think about the ripple effect that has. And that's something that will never be forgotten here at in Eastern Ontario and across the country at Make-A-Wish.
You were so much more than our son. You were our friend, our traveling companion, our counselor, our inspiration. You were our everything. There's a huge hole in our hearts. We miss you, and we'll love you forever, son.
Friends and family say he lived by one simple motto: let's go have some fun. They say that spirit carried into his everyday life, from fundraising to advocacy and onto the ice. His drive overcoming challenges, infectious for everyone he met. His job as an accessibility ambassador for the Ottawa Senators kept him close to the game he loved.
The way he engaged, the way he connected, and the way he made you feel special rather than trying to make anyone, it's about himself. He made everyone else feel special.
Tysen died on Christmas Day at the age of 25, but his legacy lives on in the lives he touched. Sean Varden, CTV News.
The federal government continues to issue notices to public servants that their jobs may be affected by the Comprehensive Expenditure Review. Innovation, Science and Economic Development confirms to CTV News Ottawa that 1,100 employees were told last week they would receive notices their positions may be impacted. The department plans to reduce its workforce by 45 executive and 569 non-executive positions over the next 2 years. The federal government plans to cut 28,000 jobs over the next 4 years as part of a plan to find $60 billion in savings. The Globe and Mail reports Transport Canada will send letters to 1,500 employees to say their positions may be affected. The department plans to cut 600 jobs. And in developing news, the Ontario Liberal Caucus is recommending John Fraser for interim leader, a role he is poised to hold for a third time. Riding Association presidents and executive councils still have to vote on that choice, which will happen in the coming days. The party has said full leadership race details will be released on February 9th. It comes after Bonnie Crombie stepped down last week. Fraser has served as the MPP for Ottawa South since 2013. An Ottawa councillor is calling on OC Transpo to treat the current bus shortage like an emergency water main repair. Sean Menard says OC Transpo should be purchasing used buses as soon as possible. He also wants the city to shift from mechanics from other departments to OC Transpo to assist. OC Transpo has been forced to cancel hundreds of bus trips because of so many of them needing maintenance and an aging bus fleet. Last week, the transit service announced it was reducing the weekday schedule by 255 trips a day, which will require 20 fewer buses each day. Well, 4 pets are dead after a fire in Vanier overnight. A resident called 911 just after 2:30 this morning, reporting smoke and flames in the basement of a home on Dieppe Street. All 4 residents living in the home managed to escape, but 3 cats and a dog were found unconscious inside the home and died from their injuries. The cause of the fire is now under investigation. Well, this past month has been a difficult off-ice chapter for Ottawa Senators goaltender Linus Ullmark. The netminder is opening up about his mental health struggles and the reason why he stepped away from the club right after Christmas. In an exclusive interview with TSN's Claire Hanna, filmed at the Canadian Tire Centre on Saturday, Ullmark also discussed the rumors circulating online about his personal life. On December 28th, the Senators announced Ullmark was taking a leave of absence from the team. The 32-year-old says he is doing a lot better, and the reason for his absence is to deal with his mental health, as some things have been piling up on his life on and off the ice.
It comes a time, and you never know when, where the cup starts to overflow. And for me, that was the game against Toronto, where I was having panic attacks, not attacks, but, seriously having anxiety problems and panic in between the first and second period and leading into the first period.
And after that game in Toronto, Ullmark says he called the NHL Player Assistance Program saying he needed help. A couple of days later, he says he was made aware about rumors shared about him and his family online. On January 8th, the Senators released a statement to deny the rumors. Ullmark says the statement from General Manager Steve Staios and support from players has helped.
Then getting sent the message from that Steve and the organization put out was incredible. And then to hear all the nice things that the guys said in the locker room after coming home, it was heartwarming.
Ullmark says he received help from doctors, therapists, the Senators organization, as well as from other NHL players and former coaches. And both the Ottawa Senators and the Ottawa Charge are in action tonight. It's really a tale of two teams here. The Charge have won 6 of their last 7 games, while the Sens have lost 6 of their last 8 games and looking to right the ship on the road against the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Stutzla winds across the top, gets ahead of steam, in comes Stutzla, shoots, scores! What a drive by Tim Stutzla. Possession.
Well, Tim Stutzla makes it 2-1 in the first. James Reimer gets the start in net, and he had a great game, stopping 21 of the 22 shots he faced. Ottawa wins this one 4-1. The Sens wrap up this 3-game road trip in Nashville against the Preds on Thursday.
But New York able to just send it the length of the ice.
Cross ice, Leslie, save Shanahan, rebound, score.
And the Charge got out to a great start against the New York Sirens. Captain Brianne Jenner makes it 3-0 for Ottawa midway in the second, but New York would score 3 goals of their own. Then in overtime, Sarah Wozniacek, that's the game winner with a minute into the extra frame. Ottawa wins 4-3. The Charge now head to Montreal to face the Victoire on Saturday afternoon.
I think it's amazing. We need to bring more people to Ottawa, especially downtown in the Byron Market.
Well, everyone's invited to the party. The City of Ottawa and Ottawa Tourism are looking to bring tourists to the city this summer to celebrate the bicentennial. Well, the ice storm that hit Ottawa and parts of Ontario and Quebec last year was the costliest severe weather event of 2025. The Insurance Bureau of Canada says the ice storm from March 28th to April 1st caused $490 million in damage. The Bureau says insured damage caused by severe weather exceeded $2.4 billion last year. All right, we'll take another check of the weather. It's a look at the Sussex Courtyard behind me there. Lit up quite nicely. Jackie Perez is standing by with an extended look at your forecast now. Jackie.
We have another round of snow moving through eastern Ontario. It's going to start around the Kingston area into the overnight hours. May see even a little bit of flurries moving through Wednesday morning along the valley. It's really in the afternoon that we are going to see much of eastern Ontario covered with significant amounts of snow, maybe between 3 to 5 here in Ottawa. But for Kingston, it has prompted a snowfall warning where it could see up to 20 centimeters of snow by the end of the Wednesday evening. Now, here's a closer look at temperatures still remaining pretty cold. Minus 13 is the overnight anticipation with some windy conditions up to 40 kilometers per hour. These wind gusts tomorrow, a daytime high of minus 7. And when we look towards eastern Ontario's overnight lows, we are averaging between minus 11, minus 13. Pretty seasonal for this time of year, but it is going to get much colder by the end of the week. More on that in just a bit. But first, these daytime highs for tomorrow still hovering around seasonal, minus 6, minus 7. It's minus 1 for Kingston's tomorrow daytime high, but really the conditions are going to start to cool off by the time we get to our Thursday. Yes, a little flurries sticking around, but really we want to pay attention to how cold it's going to get. By Thursday evening, minus 16 is the overnight. We're only getting to a daytime high for Friday, minus 15. And then that overnight low for into Saturday, the overnight low into Sunday, temperatures are going to be minus 29, minus 25. So we're in for a stretch of very frigid temperatures. Minus 18 will be the daytime high for Saturday with sunshine, and Sunday, minus 15 is the expected daytime high.
Well, it's been 200 years since Colonel John By settled in the town that would later become Ottawa. And to celebrate the big birthday, the city will highlight not only Ottawa's founding 2 centuries ago, but Indigenous history, Francophone culture, and the people who make the capital what it is today. CTV's Leah LaRocque has the details.
Large 2? Large 1 too?
Mustafa Ghassem says Ottawa's shawarmas are better than anywhere else.
I make more than like million of sandwiches of shawarma. That's why I'm so happy.
He's excited to hear the garlicky wrap is part of Ottawa's bicentennial celebrations, including a Guinness World Record attempt at Shawarma Fest.
I like Ottawa more than other because like the capital for shawarma, that's Ottawa.
On the traditional Ottawa is turning 200 years old. The year-long party will include a tulip display in the spring and corn maze in the summer at Saunders Farm.
We're going to have all kinds of interactive activities inside a 3-acre maze.
And big acts like the Guess Who will perform on a special day at Blues Fest. And smaller festivals like Debaser's Peak will highlight the local arts scene.
I think that we're in a really exciting time for the Ottawa art scene, the Ottawa music scene in particular. It's an exciting time to celebrate our heritage and our present day cultural moment alongside this citywide celebration.
It can be hard to imagine that the city we know right now pretty much started close to where I am standing. The Rideau Canal to my left, and one of Ottawa's oldest buildings is right behind me, the Bytown Museum.
1832 is the first one. So this is the year that the Rideau Canal was finished construction.
The museum says Ottawa has come a long way from a small lumber settlement in 1826. The Rideau Canal integral to our city's history.
The Ottawa River or the Kitchissippi, importance of trade networks, highways, areas for connection, community.
The mayor says this milestone comes at a critical time.
This is an opportunity to show to Canadians that there's a place where you can come and celebrate, and there's big events going on throughout the year. We can draw more Canadian tourists to our city. 200
years of local pride on full display.
I think it's amazing. We need to bring more people to Ottawa, especially downtown.
Leah LaRocque, CTV News.
Coming up, after getting damaged by a school bus last month, the NCC says Kiweki Point will be repaired, but experts say those repairs could be costly. Cirque du Soleil is returning to Ottawa later this year. The popular show, Lucia, will perform under the big top tent at the St. Laurent Centre. According to Cirque du Soleil, Lucia is inspired by the people, places, and stories that define Mexico. Police say they won't be laying any criminal charges after a school bus damaged Ottawa's newly built Kiweki Point. The damage was discovered early in December, and carefully crafted wooden beams were badly scraped across Whispering Point shelter. Kiweki Point, formerly known as Nepean Point, overlooks the Ottawa River. CTV's Tysen Lefebvre explores the damage and the potential cost of repair.
Kiweki Point offers sweeping views of the National Capital Region, and at its tip, Whispering Point, an architectural shelter lined with glowing Alaskan yellow cedar beams.
It's a kind of a beautiful reminder of Indigenous lands we live on.
But that beauty took a hit in December when a school bus illegally drove onto the footpath, its roof scraping and breaking the timber, a long yellow streak visible from the Alexandra Bridge. Police say no criminal charges will be laid, which resident Lena Bassett understands.
I bike here in the summer, I walk here in the winter.
What she doesn't get.
I don't know how is even that possible, because how did they even do it?
Police and the National Capital Commission haven't released the details, but it's likely the bus turned onto the path near the National Gallery.
Unfortunate, but it's an accident, it's unintended.
The NCC calls the damage significant and is seeking compensation for the repair.
If you had to replace it all, it would be very expensive.
Mark Priddle with the Wood Source says Alaskan yellow cedar was likely chosen for its many benefits.
It's been used for years in traditional totem pole making and things like that. Very slow growing wood. And because of that, it gives it some of its density and some of its rot-resistant characteristics.
The northern BC grown wood can cost upwards of $10 a board foot. Then it must be precision fabricated.
We've done similar curved replications like that, and they're always complicated. They require a lot of design work. I would say $40,000 to $50,000 minimum for the wood and then the manufacturing of the components.
The NCC says repairs will begin as soon as possible.
And I'm just very happy that nobody got hurt, so it could have been worse.
Tyler Fleming, CTV News.
Well, coming up, why your morning cup of coffee is more of a luxury item this year. Plus, a story about a growing number of Canadians that could turn to AI to do their shopping. Drip by drip, the price of coffee continues to rise. The latest StatsCan numbers show a 30% increase from last year. Most consumers will notice the increase at the grocery store, but big companies like Tim Hortons and McDonald's are freezing prices or doing what they can to not download it onto customers. And so are independent coffee shops. But shop owners say the pressure is percolating in the local coffee business as the cost of beans continue to spike.
Our price increase was between 40 and 45% rather than 30% because, again, a higher quality coffee, attract definitely higher prices. We had to absorb, most of it. We did have a small increase.
Economists have been warning about rising coffee costs for some time now. Factors like weather variability resulting in less supply means a higher global demand is hard to meet. And the rate of inflation is also having coffee lovers feeling burned. Well, a growing number of Canadians are thinking about AI to do their shopping for them. A new report suggests artificial intelligence is quickly becoming part of how Canadians shop, with more than half of shoppers open to AI completing the purchase. CTV's Dave Charbonneau explains.
It's a shopping trend which is catching on, using artificial intelligence or AI to shop and pay online.
Well, it's not a horrible idea, I would say.
Drew Roberts says the process of shopping can be a chore sometimes, and this new technology can help speed things up.
I guess there's definitely time consuming doing the shopping, right? So yeah, but they do have the apps now in some places. You see that it's just pick up, right?
One technology analyst says convenience is a big part of the appeal.
We want it to be easier. We don't want to have to open up all these different apps and different websites and, compare all sorts of different things on our smartphone in the middle of a store. Instead, we want to just tell it with a prompt, go find me the best deal on this product.
A report by payments company Adyen shows AI shopping is surging, especially with younger consumers. 45% of Gen Z and 44% of millennials in Canada use AI when shopping.
I use the ChatGPT to ask them what's the difference between two products, and they will give you all the details about those products.
The report found 51% of Canadians are open to artificial intelligence completing a purchase for them, and 30% say they're already using AI when they shop, up from 11% last year. But not everyone is ready to change their habits yet.
Would you ever use AI for your online shopping?
No.
To do all your shopping for you?
No, I wouldn't. No, I will not use AI at all.
At this point, I'm not sure. I have a need for it.
No. Why not?
I just don't like using AI.
Retail analyst Bruce Winder says trust on using AI for shopping depends on the source of the data.
If you're on Amazon, they have their own built-in AI agent called Rufus, which is 100% accurate because it's all their data. But if you're not on Amazon and you're shopping through some of the other places or even searching through ChatGPT or what have you, there is still questions about the accuracy of the data.
As for retailers, the study shows that 78% are open to adapting to the new AI shopping technology. Dave Charbonneau, CTV News.
All right, still to come, celebrating a major league milestone as Canada's baseball team. The Blue Jays gearing up for a special season ahead. Plus, Jackie will be back with your final look at weather. Another live look through our Centennial Glass sky cam. Minus 14 degrees, overcast, but it feels more like minus 19 with the wind chill. We have Jackie Paris, who has one more look at the forecast as well as your wake-up weather for Wednesday. Jackie.
Minus 12 is what we're starting off with. When you factor in the wind chill, it's going to feel closer to minus 19. So you definitely want to bundle up. Light flurries to get you through, and not much in terms of the commute-wise. It will be pretty clear, but for the evening commute will be another story. 3 to 5 centimeters. The chunk of this will be moving through into the afternoon, into the late evening. Daytime high, minus 7. Thursday, slightly warmer at minus 5, but the chance of flurries will linger into the weekend. Kimberly.
All right, thank you, Jackie. The Toronto Blue Jays, they're kicking off celebrations for their 50th season.
Franchises cement themselves in history. Years of building.
The Blue Jays released a video on social media today with the caption, "From coast to coast to coast, generation to generation, 50 seasons, Canada's team." The Jays also unveiled a special 50th season logo for their jerseys. Single-day tickets for the upcoming season will go on sale at 10 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. Love the Blue Jays. I really hope they can run it back. this year. All right, well, that's CTV News for this Tuesday, January the 20th. CTV News continues online anytime with our digital team, keeping up to date at ctvnewsottawa.ca. For all of us here at CTV News, thank you so much for watching. Have a great night.